My grandpa moved from Syria in the late 80s and started a business out of his car. He like slept in his car. This is a story he's told me a million times. He used to like, walk to work and sleep out of his car or like walk to his meetings and stuff like that. And then it's interesting. My mom had me when she was 15 years old.
She's Syrian too?
No, she's from America. She's just, super white. My dad's pretty white passing too, because so both of my parents were born in America, right? My grandpa was born in Syria. He moved here. My dad was born here, and then he spent a lot of his childhood over in Syria. My mom had me when she was like 15, and it was this whole, like they had to get married through the mosque or whatever. And then, 22 years later, they're still together. And really quickly, I was going to respond to something you said before that. I can't remember, but as it pertains to my story in this space, this is a story that I'm always telling. I started the YouTube channel that I have now when I was 9 years old. So the channel that I have now with 1.5 million followers, I literally started that when I was 9. I used to make these dumb fucking Minecraft videos after school, but I would sit there and edit these videos all night, play Call of Duty or whatever. And then when I got into high school, I realized I don't want to do Minecraft stuff. I want to get girls and be normal and actually go out there. And then when I graduated, I was like, wait a minute, I have these skills in editing. I'm still good at conversing with people and talking politics. So I went to a Trump rally 2 states over, and I debated the people there in a very respectful way. A lot of the debates that were out there were just like people being condescending or trying, how dumb can I make this Trump supporter look? But my whole thing was, hey, you think that Trump is putting America first, and you think that we should stop funding Ukraine, but I would say funding Ukraine is putting America first. And then I give them my whole framework and I try to pull them over. And a few clips went viral of me like changing Trump supporters' minds because I was 20 at the time and I was giving them arguments they hadn't heard. So essentially this YouTube channel that I created when I was 9 years old, making these dumb fucking Minecraft videos, has parlayed into this broader thing, this sphere that we're now at the forefront of where we're doing online politics. So it's really interesting how a bunch of skills can combine later in life.
And what do you make of your association with MeidasTouch?
Yeah, I'm a contributor for them. So they essentially helped accelerate my career at the perfect time. When I started doing those debates, they went viral in certain areas of the internet. And the main dude from Meidas, Ben, he hit me up and was like, you're doing great work. Let me know if we can help in any way. So then I signed on to them as a contributor, and they helped just accelerate my career with connections and an audience. And now it's...
Why do you think they're doing so well?
MeidasTouch? I think they're speaking to, well, there's a few things. I think they're speaking to a broad audience that wasn't spoken to for a while. So Fox News is the biggest network in the United States, right? Isn't The Five the biggest show right now with like...
On cable.
On cable, yeah. So on cable, The Five is the largest show right now. And it's because, they have Jessica Tarlov there who pushes back. But a lot of Fox News is just speaking straight to the base, is giving the base what they want. I don't know if there was a strong Democratic version of that. I mean, you could argue like MSNBC or CNN, but even CNN and MSNBC are still different in how they cover things. They're more mainstream. So MeidasTouch decided to essentially, create something for our base, for a pro-democracy base that wants to hear stuff that doesn't just sane-wash what Trump says. So I think that's why Meidas does well. I mean, a lot of people in America right now turn on the TV and they feel crazy when they hear Trump speak and say these crazy things. And people aren't really calling it out as much as they should. I mean, you probably disagree, but on certain networks, Trump is sane wash is what they say, where he'll say some crazy shit about Erica Kirk or about how he does hate his opponents. And they just kind of make it a little footnote. It's not a big deal.
You would do nothing else. If you were to police Trump's statements, you would have time for nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's by design, by the way.
Yeah.
He floods the zone because there is a genius to his manipulation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a genius and he's going to beat you on Jeopardy. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I always wonder that, though. He's got to have some sort of instincts with PR.
He knows what drives the media.
Yeah.
And he knows what works, and he knows how it works, and he knows with whom it works. Remember, this guy is not organic to his base. He listened to Tom Tancredo. He listened to Steve King. The wall was an acronym, was a euphemism that was offered him on a campaign bus just to have an idea in his head of metaphorically what to do. He made it literal as he learned that the more simplistic he was, the more sticky it got.
Yeah.
And that's not to disrespect. See, the mistake is, because his base is stupid. No, Because politics is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The base isn't stupid. These people aren't stupid. There's a whole range of sophistication of people who are within MAGA, who are now hating MAGA. There's a whole range. It's what their expectations are of the people who want the power, of campaigns, of politics. That's where the bar comes down. If you went and tried to sell them a new roof and did it the way Trump does, you're going to be on your way.
Yeah.
If you want to invest their kids' college money, you're going to be on your way.
Yeah.
But for politics, their bar is very low. And that's where I see opportunity. I'm told the MeidasTouch guys don't like me. They want a piece of me.
I have no clue.
They've never reached out to it. I'm fascinated by this.
Let me tell you, I'm a MeidasTouch guy and I like you, so it's all good.
Thank you, Adam.
They've never said anything to me about it.
It's nice of you to say also when you're trapped in my house right now. But I think it's an interesting aspect of the new media that I hear a lot more of that from that space than I would have ever heard. Like when guys on Fox didn't like me, it wasn't, I want to find that guy and beat his ass, especially when that's not going to happen. But I hear it all the time from digital media.
People don't like you.
Or that, no, but it's like it's not, I don't like you. It's not, I think what he says is silly. I think he's useless. Those kinds of things, that's what you sign up for when you want to be judged. It's personal.
Oh, yeah.
And it's often aggressive. And I don't think they mean it that way. I think only like an Andrew Tate means it seriously. But is that just like how it is with you guys, that you talk about like, destroying other guys?
I don't know about destroying other guys. I think that, I'd have to know exactly what's been said, like between Meidas or whatever. I don't know if they've said anything, but regarding the people in the audience, is that what you're talking about? Like people going after you?
Those guys I heard. And I'm happy to go on and talk to them about whatever they want. I never say no unless
the Meidas guy said they were going to kick your ass?
Yeah, that's what I was told. I don't watch, I don't follow
in
the
numbers
content.
Or in person?
Oh, they definitely kick my ass in numbers. Anybody who plays to a side is going to kick my ass in numbers.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think there's a reality. The Meidas guys are actually quite non-confrontational. They don't really do debates. They don't really do on TV stuff. I'm the guy who does the debates because I can like talk to the other side and go on CNN and stuff. They honestly are not that confrontational. I don't think they would say they'd kick your ass, but maybe I could see them thinking you play both sides too much. A lot of people think that, but I don't think they'd say anything like that.
What's the alternative? If you reject the binary system, which I do, okay, I really believe the parties are the problem. And it can't be a coincidence that George Washington took all that time in his farewell address that was written by arguably the two greatest minds of that period within our founding, which was Hamilton and Madison, because that's who wrote Washington's thing. He did it twice. To say, avoid the parties. I really believe that it's hard for us to get better in this setup. So to pick a side, do I think the sides are equal? No, but they're playing the same game, and I hate the game. Yeah, but you should still pick a side. Then nothing gets better. Because look, right now it's getting worse. The left, liberals, Democrats, whatever you want to call yourselves, are resembling what you oppose more and more. Why? It's contagious. It works. Look at Newsom. He would laugh if you would go back in time 3 years and say 3 years from now you're going to be pretending to be Trump. He'd be like, fuck you, I'd get out first.
To be fair, it seems like the other side is becoming what they oppose too, though, because Republicans, the moment they got in power, didn't even wait a year to start canceling people, getting people fired. So it seems like both sides begin to morph into the other side. Yeah, so
you carry the burden on your side of being purists. They only carried it as a faux Christian orthodoxy.
Yeah.
Right? And why? Because they have an escape hatch that Catholics don't have on the evangelical part of their faith of Christianity, which is, hey, I just found out, Adam, that you do all these horrible things. I know. I beg forgiveness from Jesus, my Lord and Savior, and now it's okay. For Catholics, you got to live with the guilt for the rest of your life, and it never goes away. They get a free pass as long as they say they're sorry. So it's easy for them to traffic in hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And they do. That's why whenever you see a little crucifix after a name on social media, you know you're getting a beating. You know what I mean? They're going to come at you. Why? Because they're always forgiven. I expect that of them.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the same on both sides. I think that there is an opportunity. I was raised in it. I was raised by a real one, as you guys would say, okay? Mario Cuomo would be a dream for you guys today. Yeah, he was technically a white male, even though he wasn't called that in his time. He was dismissed as an ethnic. the way your grandfather would have been.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Even though, pale, not pale, doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's, well, you're Italian, gap-toothed, swarthy, mafia. He had to share his valedictory in college and in law school with an Irish guy because the schools were Irish dominant. He couldn't get a job on Wall Street as a lawyer, even though he was a genius because he was Italian. So it was a different kind of whiteness than I am. But he would be a dream for you guys. Why? Tough as fuck. But he's not going to be like you. He's going to be better than you. Like, yeah, you can say what you're going to say about me. We can take that up later. When we're off the stage, I'll talk to you. We'll see how it goes. But for right now, you tell me how you think that you can help people with affordability when what you're doing is taking money out of their pockets for this and that. That's what he was. That's your sweet spot.
We need a fighter. I mean, as a young dude, I think the Democratic...
Fighting the good fight.
Fighting the good fight, but the Democratic Party has just gotten suffocating. And we thought we were fighting the good fight for a few years, but I've got so many young men who are liberals, who share the same values as me about gay marriage and about all these things, but they just feel suffocated by the overall party.
Gay marriage is not a value. It is the law of equal protection. It's not a cultural preference. There's no religiosity to it. Marriage is a legal construct. It is an equal protection, no-brainer issue.
Yeah, tell Michael Knowles that. Michael Knowles thinks gay people shouldn't be able to adopt kids or get married or have these. He thinks
that's fine. Those are feelings. He can have those feelings.
Yeah.
Legally, they're either people or they're not.
Yeah.
If they are persons in the eye of the law, this is the reproductive rights problem. He's making a straw man argument, which is they're not the same as me.
Yeah.
They either are or they're not in the eyes of the law. Mm-hmm. And if they are, then they are accorded all the same rights as you. Yeah, but I don't like it. That's a culture issue.
Yeah.
That's a culture issue. And indoctrinating culture through law is very dicey. And they're supposed to be against it.
Yeah.
Small government, right? That's why they love to call themselves libertarians. Libertarian means I never run anything. I never do anything. I don't have to make anything better, but I'm better than you. And that's why I get frustrated by that moniker. But so you're saying you have like-minded individuals, and what do they want?
I mean, I've got a lot of young dudes, for example, that I talk to who are just sick and feel suffocated of the party because they think it's two things. Number one, a little bit too finger-waggy, but at the same time, while they're finger-wagging, it's like risk-averse. So the Democratic politicians always seem risk-averse. Donald Trump is not risk-averse. He'll go into any space, anybody with a microphone, he'll go debate and talk to you.
Because his own won't attack him and yours will.
That is one of the problems with our media ecosystem that we can get to. On the right, everybody from Nick Fuentes to Candace Owens to Ben Shapiro lines up at the end. But on the left, Hassan Piker, one of our biggest creators, he's a cool dude and I've watched him before, but during election time, he did not say to vote for Kamala. Our biggest creator on the left was not advocating to vote for Kamala. Meanwhile, on the right, they all completely line up. So people in my age cohort, and I think throughout the party too, just think that we've gotten lame, too risk averse, and we need to be in these spaces making these arguments. Not saying we're going to kick the shit out of people. I don't know if Midas actually said that, but not saying that. But I think that going and actually presenting the argument in a good faith way, not going to lie, the Charlie Kirk model, what Charlie Kirk was doing worked very well, and it's created this cultural dominance for the right. It's this theory that I have called the pipeline to volume theory in the algorithm, and I've seen this happen, where a lot of young men who are looking up dating advice, for example, like say every young dude has dating problems at some point. You get sucked down this Andrew Tate pipeline, this rabbit hole, and before you know it, you're watching Andrew Tate. What about my friends that just work out? They like working out, so they're watching reels on that. Then they get sucked down this pipeline to make America healthy again, meaning vaccines and Tylenol, blah, 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 all this stuff. There's also this pipeline with young mothers, where young mothers just had a baby, are now getting pulled down this sort of anti-vax, like weird health pipeline. And then once you're down that, they hit you with so much volume, you can't escape it. Think of Elon Musk's Twitter feed. If you've ever scrolled through it, he posts 100 times a day, right? 100 tweets a day with millions of views. That's the volume. So on the right, you were saying earlier that Joe Rogan doesn't speak to the many. He still speaks to the few. And I do agree, actually. I agree a lot that us on social media, we're all speaking to...
But it gets amplified.
It gets amplified, and there is a cultural shift. You asked at the very beginning why I think it's important for us to talk about Charlie Kirk's beliefs when he just passed away, and I think we see this insidious amplification of his beliefs throughout the culture, throughout young men, young women, people of all ages that are now getting this amplified, and I think it's very important to be out there and be like, listen, Charlie Kirk shouldn't have gotten shot. Obviously, that's terrible. He got like publicly executed. It was terrible. But at the same time, this is a dude who repeatedly said the Civil Rights Act shouldn't have been passed.
No, not at the same time. Two things.
Yeah.
You're about to make the AOC mistake. And to be very clear, I say this all the time, but you got to say everything 100 fucking times. I think she's one of your best in terms of personal political cachet. I don't know if she's one of your leaders, and I don't know that you win a major election with her pushing socialism and a higher tax burden.
She's like a democratic socialist. I don't like the word socialism either, but
it's high taxes.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And it's a tough sell.
Well,
pragmatic. But hold on.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk never said the Civil Rights Act. I've studied this very deeply, and it's pretty simple. It'll take you 5 minutes. It's not what he said.
I've looked it up.
What he said was, Civil Rights Act, good, needed it, great.
No.
Was then used to inculcate DEI and do these other things by extension of that law that he was against, and that it should have never been used for those purposes. Not to help black people vote. That's he believed in. But to make it as an extension of a welfare program for blacks in every manifestation, that he was against.
Yep.
Now, I happen to disagree. I actually think it was necessary.
Nope, I've heard him make that argument.
He didn't say get rid of it.
I've heard him make that argument. I didn't say he said get rid of it. He said they never should have passed it. And he also he said that, right? They never should have passed it in the first place. And he made also.
No, I don't think he did say that. I think what he said was the way that what they did with it made it a mistake.
I did a lot of research on this because I wanted to make sure he actually said this. And essentially, he also made this other argument that black Americans committed a lot less crime and there were more households with both parents before the Civil Rights Act, which is actually true if you look up the statistics, but it's a lot more complicated than he made it out to be.
Yeah, it's not because they didn't have rights.
No, so it's very complicated, but this is what Charlie Kirk would do. He would bundle.
That's a straw man argument.
He would bundle these arguments together. He would say the Civil Rights Act shouldn't have been passed. Yeah, I think that was his view. And he said it accelerated DEI being integrated into the workforce. He said that a lot. But then he would also make these arguments like black Americans committed way less crime and there were less fatherless households before the Civil Rights Act. So you can't blame someone if they get confused when Charlie Kirk is making all of these arguments.
I just think the way to do it matters.